Goal of today is to kind of talk about the new rules and how those might impact you moving forward. Obviously, one of the biggest things is bare knuckle boxing or bare knuckle fighting as it's defined in the rules here. It means a form of unarmed combat that's based on punching without the use of boxing gloves. So that's a new sport type that will be in place effective July 10th. And we'll talk a little more about that as we go through this today. Kickboxing and Muay Thai. Previously, it wasn't in rule, the rounds or how long the rounds could be. And so the commission added that into the rules now. Kickboxing can consist of no more than 10 rounds for professional kickboxing events. Each round can be no more than 3 minutes, and then at least 1 minute rest period between each round. Amateur kickboxing is no more than 9 rounds, limited to up to 2 minutes per round with that minute rest period between rounds. Muay Thai, no more than 5 rounds for professional Muay Thai, limited to 3 minutes per round with the minute rest. And amateur Muay Thai is limited at 5 rounds, no more than 2 minutes, and a minute rest between each round. So that's in rule now. It wasn't in rule previously, but it is in there now. The next thing that was added is the number of events that can be held on a single day. The department may restrict the number of unarmed combat events being held on a single day to 1 event. And so a couple things about that, things that would automatically disqualify your event or get a denial is if we receive 2 for the same day. The second one that we receive has the same inspectors or an inspector, same officials on the second event. The second event's going to be automatically denied, and you'll be notified of that. So, just a suggestion, once you have your venue and officials and inspectors locked in, that's the best time to put in your event application. You don't have to wait to 31 days prior to put that in. You can put it in as early as you want. So once you have dates and officials and inspectors locked in, go ahead and put in your event request. And then you'll have that date available to you. The website, michigan.gov/UCC, is where you can check for events and know if there is an event scheduled for the day that you're looking at. Oftentimes we get questions, what is the commission looking for when they are approving bouts? And so that is in the rules. Rule 201 says that the department can refuse a contest and need to look at the following factors. So the win-loss record of the contestants, what the weight differential is, the caliber of the opponents, each contestant's number of contests that they've competed in, and then other factors relating to the contestant's past conduct as a contestant in Michigan or any other jurisdiction. So those are the things that the commission is looking at when they're giving that approval for that contest to occur. There are also requirements in Section 54A of the Act referring to technical knockouts or knockouts in 3 months, 6 months, or a year that may prevent someone from participating in a contest in Michigan. So that's what the commission is looking at when they're giving the approval or denial of a particular bout. Contestant paperwork. So this is a new rule that the commission has put into place. So a license application and all required medical examinations must be complete and received by the department no later than 2 business days before a scheduled event. Exceptions to this requirement may be granted for good cause shown. Exceptions cannot be granted later than the substitution deadlines specified in the next rule, which we'll get to in a moment here. So at least 2 business days before an event. So if your event's on a Friday, that means that at the end of the day, Tuesday, everything has to be in for that. So Wednesday's 1 business day, Thursday's the 2nd business day, and Friday's the day of the event. If your event's on a Saturday or a Sunday, that would mean Wednesday on most weeks is the end of the time period for contestants to have all of their paperwork in, the correct paperwork in. So anything that is not in by that deadline means that that individual is not going to be able to compete 2 business days later at the event. So any substitutions, so if you're looking to substitute a contestant that's already been approved, you can still do that up until 2 p.m. on the day of the event if it's happening, obviously, during the normal work week. If it's a Saturday, Sunday, or holiday, it's 2 o'clock the regular business day before the event. So if you need to substitute someone that has already been approved, that's acceptable, but that has to be done by that 2 o'clock deadline. Changes with the professional and amateur status are in these rules. The commission has put in for all amateur competitors a minimum of 7 amateur contests before they can apply for their professional license. There is an opportunity for amateur contestants to apply based on proven competence. And so if there's an amateur who's far ahead of others, then they can apply, and there's a committee of the commission that will review the application and materials they provide and either allow them to move to the professional status or remain at the amateur level. So it's a minimum of 7 amateur contests across the board for all sport types that the state has. Another thing that they've put into the rules is once an athlete moves to that professional status, they're a professional for any sport type. So this is something that they've always kind of said has to happen, but now it's actually in rule. So if we have a professional boxer, they're unable to compete as an amateur mixed martial artist. So once a professional, you're professional across the board. And they also put in that a license cannot be issued to an applicant if they have any outstanding fines or costs or a current suspension. So a person who's suspended as a professional boxer would be unable to apply and get a license for a professional bare knuckle fighting license until they've taken care of whatever action is on their professional boxer license. Referees and judges. So there's some new requirements for referees and judges. Before licensure, they have to provide, or to get a license, they need to provide a certification showing that they have taken classes and are approved to officiate in that particular sport type. And so this is for anybody who's new coming into the state to get their license. For individuals who currently hold a license with the state of Michigan and they are currently holding a license to officiate, to referee or judge in a sport, those individuals will have 90 days from July 10th to provide the department with proof that they've completed a training in that specific sport type. So if they are going to be a judge for boxing, they need to complete a certification for judging in boxing. If they want to be a referee for MMA, they need to complete the certification course for doing that within MMA. So whatever sport types that they want to be able to officiate, they will need to provide certification to the department about that. Again, on that michigan.gov UCC page, there's a listing of the current certifications.
I have a question.
Yeah, yep, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know how to work this thing.
You're good.
I have certifications for MMA that I've sent into the state. Like I took at least 3 of the certifications that are on the website.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to know is, do I need to re-up those certifications? Is that something?
No, as of right now, the only thing that's in here is that an official has to provide that certification to the department.
Okay, because I've done John McCarthy. I don't know if you know who John McCarthy is, but I did one of his courses. It's a 3-day, pretty intense. I've been to Boxing Commission's annual convention, and I've also been to a handful of other small ABC certifications.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure that that was still going to be good. You know, that was stuff that I went well on beyond what I needed to do before, you know.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, the list is on the michigan.gov/UCC webpage. So people can check there. If you have officials that have different certifications than what is currently listed, have them reach out to the department, and they'll get those to the commission to review and determine if those are acceptable certifications or not. The other thing that the commission is working on is to bring the Association of Boxing Commissions into the state sometime in August or September of this year. And they'll be able to provide training in the state of Michigan for people who don't have it and want to get it, or a way to attract new officials to the sport here in Michigan. So this will just need to be for the sport types that they want to officiate in. They'll need to be sure that they have the certification for that. And then obviously, if your event request is sent in and the officials you have on there do not have the certifications, that event request will be denied because those officials won't be able to do that particular event.
Will there be a list of certified, judges and whatnot?
So, that's a good question. We can look at if that's possible to put a list out there.
Because how else would we know?
Yeah. So their verify a license, I think, shows which sport types they have, but we can, that's something we can ask. I don't want to say yes without asking the legal folks to make sure that we can't put out their names and what they're certified in without getting in trouble on that. So I'll check on that, Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When did you say the certifications will need to be in by?
So it's 90 days after July 10th. Let me see what that day is real quick.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
So non-certified will still be able to work 90 days after July 10th. Okay.
Yeah. So Thursday, October 8th will be the date that people have to have that certification in. And we just sent out information. We're going to attempt to meet with officials on July 1st to talk about this with them. So encourage officials that you work with to come to that meeting. Hopefully by then we'll have the date and location of the training. We're ABC is just seeing what trainers are available to come in. They're going to be doing it over 2 different weekends so that they can offer MMA, bare knuckle, all of that for individuals who want to get that certification. But yes, until October 8th, you can use officials that are currently licensed. And then beginning October 9th, they're going to have the certification for those people to be used at an event. So hopefully that gives them enough time for the people who don't have the certifications currently.
After you get sort of verification from the referees and judges and all that who are certified,
Yes.
The same way you contacted all of us right now for this, would you be able to, once you get permission to do so, would you be able to just email us the list that way? Could we
Yeah.
go about it that way instead of
Yep.
us having to look it up?
Yep. I'll ask and see what we can do about making sure promoters and matchmakers have that list.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
The thing that you can list on the webpage.
Yeah, I'll ask and see if that's possible.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Let me see here. So bare knuckle. So for the most part, the commission has adopted the Association of Boxing Commission's unified rules for bare knuckle fighting. There's a few areas that they did not adopt by reference. And so those are spelled out individually in our rules. The rest of it is what's available on ABC Boxing's webpage. And then once these rules actually go into effect, we'll post those on the UCC webpage here in Michigan, along with the new rule set on July 10th. So there will be links to those. The few things that the commission did not accept from ABC was round length. So they had a different definition for the lengths of the rounds for men and women. The commission decided to keep that the same for men and women for the lengths of the rounds. So for Michigan, there can be a total of 6 rounds and 3 minutes each, and a 1-minute rest period between each round. So that's for men or women. If there is a person who's making their professional debut, so this doesn't mean professional in bare knuckle fighting, but professional overall, this is their first professional fight, then the rounds have to be limited to 2 minutes. But there can still be a total of 6 rounds in that competition. So if you have 2 seasoned professionals in the competition, it can be 6 rounds, 3 minutes each. If one of them is a brand new professional, they have to be limited to 2-minute rounds. Another area that they did not adopt by reference was the dress and protective wear for bare knuckle fighting contestants. And so those are spelled out in our rules. There was just something in there that was a requirement that they did not want to include in ours. But it's pretty standard. So bare knuckle fighting contestant shall wear protective gear as determined necessary. Male contestants shall not wear any form of clothing on their upper body. They have to wear appropriate shorts, boxing or wrestling shoes, and a mouthpiece. And male contestants have to wear appropriate groin protection. Female contestants shall wear the appropriate sports bra and are allowed to wear a short sleeve shirt that is above the elbow or sleeveless. And breast protectors are optional. Loose fitting tops are prohibited. And then they have the same requirements for the shorts and shoes. If a referee determines that long hair is an issue, they can make sure that the hair is secured. No hard material can be used to secure the hair. Inspectors need to ensure that fingernails are clipped and at a length not to cause injury to the opponent. No jewelry can be worn. No products on their body or hair, including hairspray or hairspray dye, body paint, hair gel, skin products other than the allowable amount of skin lubricant that's allowed under our rules. And then it talks about the hand wraps and the amount of gauze that can be used and the proper taping of that. See if there's anything else related to bare knuckle. So that's it. Everything else, the commission adopted what ABC has. And again, that will all be posted on the webpage. They did make a change for Muay Thai contest in amateur fights. They are allowing 6-ounce gloves for super flyweight classes and below. Everything else is still the same, which is 8 to 16-ounce gloves for Muay Thai.
I did it.
Yeah.
Question. I believe that when I read on there about the officials, that it said timekeepers as well. Is that true that they need a certification?
So that's how it's written. They can't find any timekeeper courses that are available. So
Yeah, I was wondering.
at this time, the timekeepers don't have to submit certifications. It does look like USA Boxing has a course that timekeepers can take, but that's the only one that they could find regarding that. So if timekeepers want to do the ABC course, it's reading their material and taking an online test. They can do that and submit that to the department, but the requirement for the certifications is specifically for judges and referees right now.
Thank you.
Yep. A couple other things that are now in the rules. So matchmakers and promoters, you've always been obviously responsible to ensure that the matches are fair and even, but now consistent outclassed opponents may result in disciplinary action for a promoter or matchmaker. And so commission's looking to make sure that the matches are as fair as possible. So obviously if they're seeing consistent first round early TKOs or referee stoppages, those sorts of things could be grounds for disciplinary action. They're not putting a hard and fast statement in there that this will happen, because obviously TKOs happen, knockouts happen to the best of the best out there. So what they're looking at is there a pattern or is this a consistent thing that they're seeing within events that are out there? And then the other thing for promoters and matchmakers is be sure that the information that is in BoxRec or Combat Registry prior to submitting that for about approval is accurate and up to date. Again, they have that, failure to do this on a consistent basis will result in disciplinary action for the promoter or matchmaker. It's the promoter or matchmaker's responsibility, once that is submitted to the department, that it is the correct person, correct date of birth, all that information is correct before that information gets sent off for about approval.